Enjoy.
Joe, are you going to...
And now, welcome to the Great Cigar and Pipe Show. Presented by Hiram and Solomon Cigars. And also the Oliva Cigar family. Coming to you live from the Corona Cigar Company studios.
I am a blues man. I live this life.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another great cigar and pipe show. And we got a full house tonight, everyone. It is.
I'm confused.
Why?
Why? Because I don't see it up on our show stream.
I don't know what he's
I
talking
see it.
about.
Yeah.
Somebody's up.
I see it here. I don't see it on. I see it
Oh
on
no,
mine.
you broadcasted
I
it
see it on
to your
Frank's very
personal one.
confused about a lot of things
Very
lately.
confused. Hold on a second. Let me see what the fuck is going on here.
Frank forgot to post it to the show page.
No, I didn't. I actually did.
Yeah,
but
I haven't seen it yet on the show page.
Oh,
So everybody, hold on.
Hold on.
You know,
Hold on.
when you go live,
I'm going
when you
over
go
there.
live, anything can happen. And this
Frank
is
is on a
happening.
60-second delay.
I'm on a 60-second delay. I just transferred it over, so it should be now shared. I
Hey, he's
shared
been
it
on
on-
a 60-second delay since the 60s, too.
Listen, you know what? Facebook is a fuck book. I'm going to call it. Excuse me.
Fake book.
Oh, God. Oh,
What?
God. You didn't hear
Fuck
that,
you over.
Facebook?
It did fuck you over.
It did.
It did.
All right.
And
Well,
now you're rotating.
anyway, I shared it from my page to the Facebook page.
Okay.
But I had it to both, and then I had it. Then for whatever
Frank,
reason,
just admit you fucked up.
no, I will never do that.
Just admit
You
it.
understand?
You
It doesn't work
can.
that
You
way.
can.
I cannot
Folks,
do that.
Thank you for
Hey,
joining us.
Hey
just to let you
Joey,
know.
Genevieve
Joey.
is on.
Joey, why don't
Genevieve
you
is on.
What's up, girl? She's on a
Joey.
60-second delay, too.
But that's all you got. Joey, why
Well,
don't
this
you
was
do
fun,
the,
guys. I'm going to go now.
Joey,
Can
do
we
the
get the show
introduction
started?
tonight.
Can we get the show started? Come on.
And we already started the show, Ronnie.
Ay, ay, ay.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're
No,
live.
No, we're on Memorex. So anyway, yes, we
All
are
right.
live.
All right.
Everybody, welcome. We're going to have a full house tonight, and we're pretty excited. It's that once a month that we do that pairing show, and Joey Chicken Gulino takes kind of over here, and we have three amazing guests that are coming on, and we're excited about that. But introducing ourselves, I'm Ronnie Pecorini, and believe it or not, Joey Gulino to my right over here. It's going to be
Chicken
kind of
Joe.
his show. He's going to run it. Down, but Chicken Joe is going to go, yes. And then we go down by himself there in Tampa, trying to take it all in. The new Floridian, Kyle
Trying to
Jesso.
take it- Hey, Kyle,
Taking
how is
what?
it taking it all in? Can you take it all in, or do you have to do it in spurts?
No, we don't do anything taking anything all in. No.
All right, and then move forward.
Are we going to get
Are
Are we going to get a tour of the? Are we going to get a tour of the trailer house you're living in? Or?
It's a shack. You know, this is
Oh,
it. You're in my living room, kitchen, and bedroom right here.
okay, very nice. Very
All right, and we'll continue after that line there. We got my brother, the retired Bob,
Welcome back, folks. How you doing, man?
and the one, the only, the Chooch master himself, Cousin Frank.
Hello, everyone, and sorry about that little screw up in the beginning of the show. I had a few
That's
extra
nice.
margaritas tonight.
We did have a few.
We did,
Yeah.
and
He was gone in 60 seconds.
I was gone. Listen, we did the pre-show, me and Bob, and Sanj Patel jumped on, and it really we got off the rails, and Sanj is amazing.
Yep, we did.
So thank you, Sanj, for joining us in the madness that was the pre-show. If anybody has a chance to go and watch that reel, which was live earlier, you will be amazed at Sanj's basement. And there's not dead bodies in that basement, but there are there is an incredible amount
Selection of cigars.
a selection
Absolutely.
of vintage cigars. So
Very, very nice.
that's it. That's all I have to say.
That's it for the rest of the
That's
night.
good enough. That's good. That's it.
Okay.
Forget about it.
Moving
So,
on.
everybody, we like I said, we have a big show, really big show tonight.
I'm a really big
And,
show tonight.
Yeah, look at that.
Absolutely.
Look at that beautiful cigar.
What is Joe handling? What do you got there?
Is
Talk
Joe
to the
We
guy.
are
Joe's
going
handling. Joe, what are you handling these days?
Joey Chicken is handling a cigar. Okay.
Why don't you just tickle that cigar there, Joe?
Are you taking it all in?
All right, let's just go to commercial break. All right, so restart this whole shit show. All right, now I'm all fucked up. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, so tonight we are going to be pairing the Rock-A-Feller Maduro Robusto. I'm gonna let
Vintage, by the way.
vintage. It is vintage.
Hey.
I'm gonna let the brand owner Kevin get into this cigar and explain to us everything about it. And we're gonna be pairing it with. This is a American single malt. That's why I have my USA hat on. God bless America. American single malt is the next wave in the whiskey industry. Anybody who is a nut about whiskey is getting after the American single malts. This is an expression from Westward Distillery out of Portland, Oregon. One of my favorite American single malt distilleries. This is basically their original single malt, and it's finished in a stout cask because there is a big beer scene in Portland, Oregon as well.
Right.
So we have Kevin Gold on with us tonight. Hopefully we're going to get Miles Monroe. He's the master blender for Westward Distillery. Hopefully he joins on. We haven't heard from him yet. So that's what we have going on. We also have Adam from Dreamer Cigars.
I think we should bring Adam on because he's a funny
Sure.
guy.
Yeah.
Show him on.
Even before the first, before the first sponsorship.
You know why, Ron?
We're at 8 minutes.
Well, I'm tired. Oh, what the hell is going on with my screen?
The blue screen.
Blue screen.
What the heck is going on?
Wow.
You're not on here, Frank.
Look at
Oh,
this.
good God. There he is. Now I see him.
Frank took the blue pill, so now he's seeing the blue screen.
Whoa, this has been quite an
And he's talking about his lower third now.
Let me
You want to get that fixed, Frank? I'm just saying.
Let me bring
Frank, why don't you go to our sponsors?
What's up, Adam?
Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for my grandpa's here. Technology is very difficult for a lot of people, but I'm glad to be here, happy to be here, and excited to try some great cigars from Rock-A-Feller and some Westward whiskey.
Oh, this is killing me
right.
tonight.
Thank you, Adam,
Oh,
for
boy.
filling in and helping me out here because yes, old age does happen, and
It happens. I haven't experienced.
sometimes it's not pretty, especially when drinking is involved. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of that, and please give me some latitude tonight. 'Cause-
Cheers to that.
No latitude.
No, we'll just
all
go,
latitude.
only longitude. Sorry, Frank.
Hey, listen, I'm in latitudes, Margaritaville, so I get the latitude tonight. Sorry.
We
But,
have to apologize to our Facebook listeners. Sorry about no notification was given.
Yep.
Frank is just a little off his game tonight, and
Yes, I've been
so
very
we
off.
apologize.
Very off.
Everybody, I'm going to ask you now, all your Facebook, everybody, please hit the share button so you
Yes.
can notify all your friends because there was a little mishap
Frank
earlier.
did
So
not notify his friends.
just on your phone, just hit the share, get the word out, because tonight's show we got a lot of great people on, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Just from the pre-show, we saw the laughter and the nonsense. So we'll continue on the real show, bringing you laughter and nonsense, especially with Joey here. That's just him being here. It's just a bunch of nonsense. So really, hang in there. We're at 10 minutes. There's Adam waiting there, figuring out what the hell is going to happen.
Get a countdown all night?
And because right now we should already been into the sponsors. That's my job. I keep parts of that. We got Bruce going to worry about going to the bathroom in time. So we got.
Adam, we do have a senior population that does watch, so we have to time our sponsorship breaks with their bathroom breaks.
Every 15 minutes.
I think we should have a sponsorship with Depends, and all the senior people should wear Depends.
I was going to say, and my diaper change.
I'm going after them as a sponsor as we speak. I just sent them a letter. So hopefully
Joey Chicken needs a fresh diaper.
Sorry that Kevin has to listen to all of this. Kevin, we love you. We know you're in your car. Don't fall asleep on us.
Yeah. Well, as Timmy say, Frank is already 3 deep in. So everybody knows that when this kind of mess up, Frank had just maybe 10 too many. So.
We had a nice dinner. That's what I'm going to say. We had a very nice dinner.
Yeah. Not recommended pre-show.
Well, happy the belated Christopher Columbus Day from yesterday.
Christmas.
But Thursday night it's going to be even a better Christopher Columbus.
Oh boy! If we could only speak, imagine of the things that we could say.
Adam, can I come by you now? Can I come over here by you?
Yeah. No, the lounge is open. Atlanta is pre-game. You're good.
Joey, you said the magic word. You said, "Come by Adam." Listen, he's in Cummings, Atlanta, so you can come by him anytime you want.
You just won't be going.
That's right.
Bruce already said it's too late. He already went. That's it. He had to go.
Thank you.
Wow. Whew.
All right, Frank,
Holy
let's do the sponsors, and then let's get back to our show, and maybe have a few more drinks while commercials are on. Come back even stronger.
We'll be back right after these words from our wonderful sponsors who put up with us as well.
Adam, hang loose.
Howard G. Cigars is a dynamic new cigar brand grown from a love for cigar culture and a respect for the artisanship behind the craft. We are a minority-owned family business based in Orlando, Florida. Our current collection delivers 3 exclusive lines: the Black Moses, Magic Stick, All Pro Series featuring Leon Searcy's signature cigar and Ike Taylor's one-of-a-kind, and the newly released Perfect Round, featuring 18 cigars, a front 9 and a back 9. Visit our website at www.howardgcigars.com. You can find a full list of our retail partners there too. Thank you for making us part of your humidor. DAV Cigars out of New York. Decades of experience combined with true love and deep understanding of cigars result in the highest of standard of each DAV hand-rolled cigar.
This is Phil Morgan, General Manager of Missouri Meerschaum Corncob Pipes in Washington, Missouri. Our mission since 1869 has been to produce great smoking pipes that anyone can afford. We guarantee our pipes won't be your most expensive, but they just might be the ones you smoke the most. At Missouri Meerschaum Company, we don't just sell our corncob pipes. We grow them, make them, and smoke them. Missouri Meerschaum, Washington, Missouri, since 1869.
Loyalty, passion, courage. These are the founding principles of K by Karen Berger Cigars. The Maduro, the Habano, and the newly rated 93 by Cigar Journal Connecticut. Do yourself a favor and check out this wonderful line of cigars that come from a completely linear company from seed to your hands. Blue Smoke Atlanta is the vision of Robin Blue, founder and CEO. and represents an award-winning luxury smoking accessory line based in Atlanta and sold worldwide. Since 2019, Blue Smoke Atlanta's goal was to redefine traditional smoking accessories into a timeless collection of exquisitely handcrafted luxury products to include cigar pokers, cannabis clips, jewelry, and other awesome things. For an elevated smoking experience, visit us at www.bluesmokeatl.com.
At Mountain Smoke Premium Tobacco, we specialize solely in the finest hand-rolled, craft, and boutique cigars on the market. Mountain Smoke Premium Tobacco is sure to have something that will excite you. Shop our online humidor at www.mountainsmokewd.com.
A family of 4 generations in tobacco. It started in Odense, Denmark, 141 years ago, 1882, with a factory and a retail store by Eric Peter Stokeby. 4th Generation is a premium quality brand consisting of a selection of tin and loose tobaccos made in Denmark, pipes made of the finest quality briar, and superior accessories from leather goods, lighters, and pipe tools. The selection of 4th Generation products are available in premium pipe and cigar stores in the US and many European countries. Check out 4thGenPipeTobacco.com.
And we're back, folks.
All right, we're back. Hopefully, we have our shit together, Frank.
Actually, we do, and we have guests here.
Yeah, we have an audience, studio audience.
Oh, you have guests.
Yeah.
We do have guests. Guess what?
Shocking.
But
Yes.
we just poured a little bit of the whiskey in the glass, and we
Yes.
let our lips with it. And
Wow.
we let everybody else taste it, and everyone is blown away by it. So this is
Totally unique.
the stout comes right out.
Right
Wow.
out. Right. It kicks you right in the head.
Oh,
There's no room
like
for
a fucking
thinking.
chooch when you're standing behind the chooch.
What do you think,
Wow.
Adam?
Delicious.
It is delicious. Wow.
Delicious.
Very different.
That is phenomenal.
I know.
Very
Totally
different.
unique. Totally.
Yeah.
unique.
So that's one of the things that I love about Westward, and hopefully we can get Miles on here. Every time I go to these whiskey festivals, like Whiskey Fest in Chicago or what have you, as a whiskey nut, sometimes you see some of the same distilleries and some of the same expressions, and then you find some new ones. But then you see that Westward whiskey station, and you want to go right to it, because even if they have the same expressions, they taste a little more unique than the last time you had them, and that's basically because of the malt that they're using and the process they're using, especially when you're adding things like stout casks to the single malt to get this unique flavor you guys are really appreciating right now.
Totally.
And we'll get into the cigar first, if we could bring Kevin on. I know he just got done with a traffic stop from the state police over there, and he's in he's still.
I wanted to just point out the fact that Joe, we have to congratulate Joe, because if you've followed the show, you see that his lower third has changed. Now he's not only the co-host of our show, he's co-editor and writer over at the whiskey-network.net.
Yes.
I updated that for Joe because he's a prick.
Wow.
And when
Hey, can you believe they got this prick editing?
Wow.
he said I haven't updated lower thirds in 50 years. Well, Joe, I did it for you, Joe. That's how much I love you.
Thank you, and
Usually
go
I
fuck
wouldn't do it for
yourself.
anybody.
What people don't know, he has a ghostwriter.
He does have a ghostwriter. And what's funny is, I got to tell people that Joe, when he sends me pictures of people that are going to be on, and then
I
Adam
thought it was just
well-dressed.
those other kind of pictures he sends you.
No, he sends me those too. But he sends me a picture of Adam, and Adam it's one of his, I guess it's like his official picture, and he's well dressed. He's got he's really. So Joe goes, you know what, Frank? Can you use one with me with the suit on? I go, fuck that, Joe. He's not.
He's like, here it is, you fucking prick.
I want to see you in uniform.
So Adam, in the promo,
Pack of cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve.
That's how I like to showcase Joe.
I like it. Joe, don't worry. I won't tell anybody that I'm writing everything for you.
Why do you think I gotta edit this shit? Why do you think I gotta edit this shit?
Let's bring Kevin on. Here he is.
What's up, Kevin?
What's up, Kevin?
He just evaded arrest from
like
the
that,
state police.
I never saw somebody the way Joe was holding my cigar like that, laughing his head off. The way he was holding it, stroking it, and then putting it in his mouth. I never saw anything like that. I gotta get a video of that.
Usually has something else in his hands, Kevin. What can you do? You know?
Oh my God!
That's part of the porn site that we belong to that we send out. That's cigar porn.
It's chickencigarporn.com.
Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
Aside, I've had nothing but fun on the show when we've done it before.
That's true.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Actually, the last time Kevin was on the show was when I did the big surprise.
That's right.
I was down in Florida.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's the art of magic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know you.
The art of magic.
The art of magic. I know you old guys don't remember that.
I remember.
I
remember it. Joe showed up on my doorstep.
I magically transported from Chicago to Florida in the midst of a show.
Yep.
You
did.
It happened.
Now you're permanently banned from this state, but
he's got that Star Trek transporter thing ready to go.
Now I'm stuck with this one over here.
Oh, wow.
You just stuck.
What a smell.
So, Kevin, just toasting the cigar is fantastic. First of all, the dry draw on this, beautiful, floral, and
I got a lot of chocolate out of it.
Chocolate, yes.
Food draw for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the Pennsylvania broadleaf in the cigar.
The
wrapper is San Andres.
Yeah, okay.
The wrapper is San Andres. And people say San Andres, but it's San Andres, right? San Andres,
San Andres.
California.
San Andres. It sounds like you're going to address something.
Well, that's on a different podcast. No.
That's on the chicken podcast.
With Nicaraguan fillers, Omotepe, Jalapa, and Esteli, with Pennsylvania broadleaf tucked very nicely inside one of those leaves.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's what gives you that creaminess.
Yeah. So you got a lot of different tobaccos going on in this blend.
So it's complex, for a Maduro cigar.
Absolutely.
Yep.
What a great
absolutely.
room note. Wow.
Absolutely.
It's coming right at me as soon as you puff on it.
And we're not using any of the Hero. We're using Viso. We're using the 4th and 5th primate of the Viso leaf.
Okay, so no at all.
Wow.
Nope.
Interesting.
It's a high cut thick leaf. Yep.
I feel like it's pretty rare in a Maduro, no?
No, not at all. There are a lot of Maduros out in Nicaragua that just use Viso and don't use Lajero.
Oh,
It's all based on what kind of taste you want.
I like this taste.
This is delicious.
Wow.
Wow. What a great pairing, Joe. As you said,
so
pairing is magical, and it is.
We'll get into the pairing. So again, what I do is I write whiskey and cigar pairing reviews for Whiskey Network magazine. That's at whiskeynetwork.net. It's free to subscribe. Thanks, Kyle, for the quotes.
No, it's wrong. I screwed up on Joe.
Yeah, it's whiskey.
Westwardwhiskey.com.
What else are you?
I made you.
Listen,
Listen,
you know what, Bob? Just turn the camera to yourself. Get this guy off screen. You are a major failure today. I am sorry.
I mean, not for anything.
No, they're frozen.
Frank has had a little too much to drink tonight.
Yeah.
You know,
I like what Kathy just said. She goes, Joe, you're done. Kevin just did the whole review and only took him 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Hey, so this is.
There you go. Adam, it's your turn. What's going on?
Okay, so all right. So what I do is I do whiskey and cigar pairing reviews for Whiskey Network magazine. So when I do these reviews, I will go through the visual pre-light draw first before I get into the first, second, and final third, and then getting into the pairing. Before we get to Adam, we'll just get a little bit into this cigar. On the visual pre-light, this is a dark coffee brown Maduro wrapper. It's very rough to the touch. It has a very visible toothy veins to it. It's kind of a tough looking smoke. The side sniff is faint with light hay over creamy cocoa. Bob, I think you were getting maybe some floral on there.
Yeah, very floral.
Very floral. Okay.
Oh.
So the dry foot odor is I get a moist, fresh hay with some grassy earthiness on the finish. One thing I pay attention to, and I don't know why, is when I am going to do these dry draws, I see if there's any spice on the palate coming off the wrapper.
Right.
On this one, there is no spice on the palate when prepping the head for a nice. I use a nice straight guillotined cut on this cigar to allow all its flavors to hit my palate full on.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dry draw produces a fruity dark fudge brownie note, which I think is just absolutely incredible. So Adam, tell us about yourself and what you do for the cigar industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Adam. I own Dreamer Cigars. We are a cigar education company, mainly based on social media. This year alone, we just hit 175 million views across all of our different social media channels. So what we try and do is help beginners get into it. You know, everybody thinks it's intimidating. They see all these old guys here on this show, and they're like, man, I got to be 70 or 80 or 120 if you're like Frank before I can even smoke.
For this show, you do. For this show, you do.
And no, our main goal is to help the next generation of cigar smokers learn about cigars, get into cigars, and just feel comfortable getting into cigars. You can see, you know, I have my book right there. It's a Cigar 101 education book we wrote with Rick Rodriguez. Very simple, 30 minutes, simple in and out. We offer it free on our website, shopdreamercigars.com, because we just want to help people get into the cigar industry, learn about it, enjoy it, and not feel intimidated like I was. I was the worst beginner of all time. I will probably get into all of my terrible mistakes that I did. I mean, I was licking the cigar, lighting it up and down, doing everything that you could do wrong, and that's why I want to help the next generation get into cigars. So not only can we enjoy cigars, but so can our grandkids and their grandkids and so on and so forth.
Did you say that book is free?
Ronnie used to eat them, so he didn't know any better.
This is
Yes, the book is free, Ron, but you do have to purchase.
But what do you have to purchase for
$300 worth of product?
No, it's shipping and handling only. If you cover shipping and handling, I'll send you the book for free.
Really?
Ronnie needs that because he's still working on his 100 level.
Yeah, exactly.
Class 101, Frank.
And
Come on, buddy.
That's Rick Rodriguez of West Tampa, I'm assuming?
Rick Rodriguez of West Tampa.
West Tampa and the old CAO master blender, yes. Absolutely.
Wonderful. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and 10% of proceeds of your shipping goes to the Cigars for Warriors as well.
Oh,
nice.
cool. Wow.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
Adam, somebody has to a point. He said it's AARP cigar people.
There you go.
So you can kind of clarify that when you're doing your little Instagrams. You can kind of make that note.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I see Christopher Eden has a question. How long after you put a cigar down can you relight it? I guess it depends on the quality of the cigar. I mean, I've put cigars down
for 10 minutes.
I've put cigars down for a long time and come back to it and it's still going. So I guess it all depends on the quality of the roll and the tobacco.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
And the humidity of the cigar too.
And the humidity.
Okay,
right.
yeah.
I went on vacation once, came back and the cigar was still lit. 3 months later.
It's too moist, you're gonna have to keep relighting it.
Yeah, if it's a moist, man, it's just too much. It ruins the whole experience. It just ruins it.
You know,
and you're sucking, you're drawing. Oh.
You know, there's a trend that I've seen.
You'll be fine.
There's a trend that I've seen. Let me ask you guys. I've seen a lot of people start to go down way further than what I learned about in keeping your humidity. People are starting to keep their humidors at like 65, just to try and avoid this over-humidified cigar that you have to keep relighting. You guys see the same thing?
So
you're absolutely right.
There's a rule: 70-70, right? 70 humidity, 70 air.
That's what I've always been taught. Now everybody is saying 65.
I'm 65. I'm 70 temp, 65 humidity.
That's what I keep mine too. And it's
depends where your climate is.
Better.
Right. Well, we're in Florida.
We're in Florida.
It's
I don't
too
even
damn
have
humid.
Put a cigar out here. You can keep it forever. You don't need a humidor.
It's one big humidifier, right? One big humidor.
No, but I found keeping it at 65 actually has
burn.
much better here.
Yeah.
And I always say there's many parallels between the cigar and the whiskey industry. Same thing with your whiskey. You're actually going to want to pour your whiskey, let it sit in the glass, let it climatize a little bit, let it open up. Basically, for every if you have an age stated whiskey, okay, let's say it's aged 15 years, you typically want to let your whiskey sit in the glass for about a minute per year it's been in that barrel, in order for it to really open up and get all those flavors and nuanced flavors out of the whiskey into your palate. So getting into the first third of this this Maduro Robusto, which I'm a huge fan of, and Kevin, thank you for the smokes. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you,
Excellent. Always
awesome, buddy.
So while toasting the foot, I immediately noticed this was incredible, like a big bold barbecue smoky flavor with hints of chocolate in overlaying it. It was just like in your face, just bold. Like I've never experienced that on a cigar before, and I'm assuming that's because there's so many different tobaccos going on in this cigar. On the first puff, which is also bold, you get notes of smoked dark chocolate, and then some heavier charred and leathery vanilla notes start to arrive on the palate. And before I knew it, and you guys are all going to laugh at me, the cigar.
We laugh at you no matter what.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Joey Marzipan. That's his nickname.
This cigar transitions to that amazing marzipan note that I love, which is, and let me describe what marzipan is for those who don't know. It is a common note you get on quality cigars, right, Kevin?
Adam left. He doesn't even want to stay.
Adam's like, I'm gone.
Oh my God,
Adam! I don't know if you know this, but they call me Joey Marzipan for a fucking reason. Okay.
I believe you. Hey, I was listening. I just had to go puke for a second.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Oh God.
All right, so marzipan is like a light candy-like mixture of finely ground almonds, sugar, corn syrup, and egg whites, and I think it's an absolutely delicious note that you can get on a cigar. So that there's a noticeable white ash on this cigar. Yes. The retrohale is bold with heavily charred vanilla notes, and in this first third, there is some spice on the finish on that retro.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Approaching the second third, that leathery vanilla note starts to dominate the experience. You guys getting that on this cigar so far?
100%. 100%, Joe.
Joe, what I wanted to just mention when you said the chocolate notes, it's. Well, my palate is telling me the chocolate is not American chocolate.
No, it's
a European chocolate,
dark chocolate,
like a Belgium or a Swiss dark chocolate.
Yes,
not what we usually get.
Not
here.
A milk chocolate.
No, not
a milk chocolate.
No,
it's a dark chocolate.
Very dark. Yeah,
almost like a espresso.
Something is definitely bolder.
Kevin, what do you think about that?
I agree with him 100%.
Kevin, what do you think about that chocolate?
It just
there you go.
Like
yeah. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, though. I know nobody would ever say this, but I think there's a hint of marzipan in here.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You know what? You're right. I've just got that just now.
Just a little bit.
Right. So Kenny Cook is asking a question, guys. Frank, you want to bring up Mr. Cook's question?
What does Mr. Cook say?
What do you want, Ken?
Should you keep the cigar in the wrapper or not in the humidor?
Depends where you live.
Cellophane, right?
Cellophane, exactly.
I would keep it in the cellophane.
It keeps it safe. It's like a condom for cigars, basically. Just saying.
Unless you got to cook it. If you got to cook it, take it out of the
Ronnie,
cello.
what are you laughing about? That's something you would say. I thought I'd say it for you.
You're right. You're right. I said you stole my words.
Especially if you have too many cigars in your humidor too, the cellophane will help not make all of those flavors marry if you're going to age it over a long time.
Right.
100%.
Exactly.
But if you're going to cook the cigar, take it out of the cello.
Oh well, yes. If you're going to prep it and you want
to get it back
up to cellophane in the microwave, come on now.
Well, unless you want to add a little sprinkle of marzipan.
Put it on. It just doesn't add a touch.
Oh my God.
Joe
So Kevin, so far he's on target for you, right, Kev?
Yes, he is on target.
And
It's definitely got those espresso coffee notes from the broadleaf, 100%.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and it's dominant at this point.
Yeah.
It's very dominant. It's right up front.
You get it in the room though too.
Yes.
Yeah, as soon as you light it up, it's almost like opening up that bar of chocolate.
You
got
crack
that,
it.
You know, you get that smell right away.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Now, Adam, I've noticed watching you a little bit. You have like at least 3 or 4 different types of pairings. Can you run us through those? You kind of categorize your pairings, which I'm pretty intrigued about.
Yeah, absolutely, and I will not take any credit for it. It was Luciano Morales that introduced me to his version of pairings back like a year ago when we were doing a lot of different pairing podcasts and situations. I was mentioning to him, like, you can't rate a pairing. It's impossible to give it 1 out of 100. If I love vodka and you hate it, like, how is that pairing going to be rated? So he told me there is something that you can base it off of, and it's 3 pairings. It's the complementary pairing, the antagonistic pairing, and the ultra pairing. So the complementary pairing is the pairing where both flavors are elevated. And that doesn't mean that it's a good or a bad thing, right? It means if you hate the cigar and you hate the whiskey or whatever it is,
it's both going to be bad.
An even worse experience. So it just means that the flavor that you got from the cigar, the flavor that you got from either the spirit, the coffee, or whatever it is, was elevated. Then the antagonistic is one stayed the same and the other was elevated. And that situation, again, positive or negative.
Right.
Everybody thinks about antagonist as negative. So I try and always say the hero of a movie is the antagonist to the villain, right? It's always there. Like, it's not a positive or negative thing. It's just something where the cigar, wow, the flavor changed a bunch, but my coffee's staying the same, or whatever it may be. And then ultra, the third one, is where I'm smoking the cigar, I get all these beautiful flavors. I'm drinking the gin or whatever it is, and I'm getting these beautiful flavors. But when I have them together, it creates something that I could never pull out of either of them.
Right.
And that's a good way of helping people understand where that pairing is coming from and why.
Yeah, that's a really great way of describing that, because it's very true. Because sometimes we'll have a pairing and we'll be like, wow, both of these have been elevated to a way that you would never, ever get one or the other if they weren't together. So it's and that's the amazing part of it, the chemistry. And Luciano's great with that. He understands the chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the salivation that I'm getting off of the cigar as well.
Very much
Yes, yes.
Like,
He talks about that a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, salivation.
It's your human rating. Like, if you grab a cigar, like, for example, this is a great example. I haven't had one of these cigars before. I immediately started puffing on this and I just started salivating.
Yes.
It's an unbiased opinion of your own palate saying, I love this.
Yes.
It's just like when you bite into a juicy steak and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. And if you don't see that when you're smoking a cigar, drinking a libation or whatever it may be, then that means maybe it didn't hit your palate right, and it's for whatever reason, or maybe it just doesn't fit you specifically.
Right. Very true.
Oh, and also, it's interesting how the cigar and different spirits play with each other, because I remember, Ronnie and Kyle and I sat at Luciano's house one day, and we were smoking his cigars and different ones, and he would pair it with different spirits. We had a whiskey, we had a rum, a wine, and
a stout.
And a
stout.
Yeah.
And each one was just phenomenal with that specific spirit that he chose.
And I could see this cigar with a stout on its own.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Like, because of the spirit having such a stout forward expression.
That maltiness plays into the chocolate too, you know?
Yes, big time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people pair this also with like an Eagle Rare.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get it.
You can get it.
It's become so exclusive now if you can get it.
But that's what's great about the cigar. It's so versatile. You could go bourbon, you can go single malt.
Right.
You know, you can go either way. It's going to pair excellently. And I'm hearing from Miles now. Hopefully he'll be jumping on with us.
He's on now. We can bring him on if you want.
All right.
He's just.
I don't know if you guys. Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Perfect. Hey, what's up? There he is.
Man, I'm almost halfway through my cigar.
Yeah, he's enjoying that cigar.
Well, we had a little time difference hiccup, but here he is.
Hello, Miles.
Miles, you know who you look like? Roy Wood from the
Roy
Move.
Woods from The Move.
Wow.
From what? What is it?
The Move, the band The Move?
No.
Before his time, man.
Oh, yeah, he's a young
Was
guy.
that during the Depression, or was that a little bit after during World War II?
Before we bring Miles on,
Well, he is on. So
He's on. What break is on?
right. What's the matter with you?
he's on. You know what? Fuck the intro for Miles. He's here already. I had a short little video of Miles.
Play the video.
Wow. Show Roy Woods instead. Go ahead.
Wow.
We're going to taste Westward Stout Cask. This is the classics, broad-shouldered, swarthy older brother. Stuff was a product born of our collaboration with brewers and our history that's deeply rooted in brewing. We take Westward, that classic, fruit-forward, nice grainy whiskey. We age it for about 3 years, and then it finishes an additional year in a stout cask. Now what that is where we're actually loaning our barrels to brewers all around Oregon, all around Washington, the Pacific Northwest. They're aging their stout beers anywhere from 6 months to up to 2 years in these barrels before returning them back to us, and we finish for that additional year. What this does is really amp up a lot of what's already there in Westward and just bring it to the forefront. Those roasty grain notes, nice chocolate, just deep, rich, good brown sugar notes. All those are gonna come through in the stout cask finish. It actually adds a bit of color as well. It's got just a bit of a deeper hue to it than the classic, a nice kind of golden brown. What's really great about this one is it's actually dried the nose out. The aromatics are just a little more austere, I would say. There's a nice floral, almost rose note to the aroma, and it's just a good indication of what an additional year with a little extra roastiness can do to this whiskey. Yeah, flavor-wise, this is almost like a Boilermaker to me. This is having a bit of stout with your whiskey. It doesn't overpower what Westward has to offer that's already there, but it certainly gives rise to those nice chocolates, caramel, and toffee notes that you find in Westward. So how this differs in finish from our classic style is actually turning down a bit of those spice notes and getting more of that leather and tobacco. There's even a bit of smokiness as well. There's a hint of smoke that I get in our classic expression, but when you're talking about stout beer, where they're using roasted grains, almost like a dark roast in a coffee, you're gonna get some more of those smoky notes in there, and that's something that really lingers on through the finish with just a hint of citrus. In nosing stout cask, I get almond roca. You get some really nice toasted almond, pecan. It's focused though altogether. It's really held in by this dark chocolate aspect. All that just bounds out of the glass. Really, really nice.
Oh,
awesome.
that was awesome.
Miles, welcome to the show,
Well,
my man.
okay, so you guys didn't even need me. You had the video.
We're done here.
Yeah, okay.
And good night.
Go Google Roy Woods later.
So, Miles, we've already kind of gotten into the cigar a little bit here, and I'm going to give you the credit for recommending that we do this with a Maduro with this stout cask. I suggest to the rest of the crew we let Miles settle in here and go to some sponsorship. We'll come back. We'll get a little more into Miles and the whiskey and the remainder of this amazing cigar and pairing.
Nice, nice.
Look at you, Joe. Look at you throwing it to the sponsors. I like that. No, we don't have Ronnie doing it.
I'm sitting back tonight, man. This is Joey's show. I'm letting him choke the chicken on it. Don't worry.
Whoa.
This industry is steeped in family and tradition. You know, there's generational stuff, and I see it over and over, and yet, no, I didn't come from that. Being the outsider looking in, I got to ask all the silly questions, and people were very accepting to want to give me all the right answers. I'm very thankful for those people who kind of allowed me to come in. Now with Alec and Bradley in the business, to have our company become generational, that's pretty cool.
Welcome to GTO Dominican Cigars, a boutique cigar company that artfully blends and creates some of the finest handmade puros from the Cibao Valley in the Dominican Republic. We are fourth-generation manufacturers and growers of tobacco with over 140 years of experience, offering a variety of styles, blends, and strengths. Mild, medium, medium plus, and full-bodied. We would truly consider it an honor for you to experience our cigars. Those who know smoke GTO.
Before you light your next cigar, be sure to check out Cigar Medics, the makers of the patent-approved humidimeter. The humidimeter is a tool designed to display the relative humidity inside your cigar. With this device, there's no more guessing. Simply insert the probes into the foot or cap of your cigar, and you can instantly know if your cigar is ready to be smoked. Buy now on cigarmedics.com and see site for other cigar accessories. With the humidimeter, you'll know when to hold them and know when to smoke them.
Years in the making, the Chief cigar was born, blended, boxed, and released to market on June 26, 2015. This cigar was developed by former fire chief, firefighter, cigar aficionado Ken Dorbecker, and has grown into a signature Firehouse cigar line. Including, of course, the Chief, a Nicaraguan Habano blend, Proby, a Connecticut Shade blend, All Hands, a Maduro Mexican San Andreas box press, and the brand new Fire Pole, a beautifully crafted San Andreas Habano barber pole. Join the Chief family and make us part of your humidor.
R&A Treasures, out of Tampa Bay, Florida. The last of a legacy. The last of an inventory of Thomas Cristiano in a warehouse where everything is aged and well kept for all your pipe and smoking needs.
And we're back, folks. Again, please hit the share button. We got a full house here tonight, and so far things are going really, really well. The pairing, Joe, you did it again.
Pairing was excellent.
How you doing, Joe? You're surprising everybody. Even
We just let our guest who was here try both, and they said excellent.
They're going out and purchasing the.
They will be buying
both.
a bottle, yes, and the
Kevin,
cigar.
where can we get your wonderful cigars?
Down in Florida, at least.
Here in Florida.
Smoking.
Smoking. Okay, so
Smoking.
down in
Okay.
Smoking. Okay, gotcha.
Very good.
Gotta get you up-
could
we
order,
gotta get you
down
up
in
north
Florida,
here.
you could order it from him.
Okay.
And what about for the rest of the country?
Where?
Well, we got a lot of viewers from all
New
over
York,
the country
New York,
itself
we got
right now. So,
Midwest.
if people
Well, the
want
rest
to
of
get
the country,
your
like
cigars.
Southern Florida, Central Florida, and Northern Florida.
Don't forget coming now. Come on now.
Oh, and coming,
They're
and
pretty
coming,
much all over-
Georgia.
They're pretty much all over the Northeast. We have shops in Atlanta too.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Excellent.
Is
Got
there a
it.
distributor that you use? Is there any distributors anywhere else in Midwest or out west?
We usually use Atlantic, Smoking.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
okay.
in Texas, Underground, Lake Worth Cigars. I mean, go through it.
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
All right.
All right.
Okay,
Underground,
Miles.
you could order directly from
Tampa.
Underground too.
And Miles, can we get this whiskey here in Florida anywhere? Because I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
absolutely you can. Yeah, I think we're in most states with the
Like
whiskey.
Total Wine or something, something like
Definitely a Total Wine for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. If
Oh,
you,
okay.
You know what? We have this clever little finder on our website. If you go to westwardwhiskey.com,
Gotcha.
you go to the finder, you punch in your zip code, it'll tell you where the closest spot is. But we're definitely in Florida. We're for sure in New York. We're in Illinois. Yeah. But that's a handy little tool.
Well, Total
We got a
Wine is
question.
the right shop, so I'll be picking this up, man.
Mhm.
Excellent.
We got a question here from Mark Pruitt. Frank, if you want to put that up there and see
right.
if what we got.
Let's see. So Has Miles experimented with other beer types aside from stout? Any learnings as to what works better?
Oh yeah, I drink a lot of beer. It all works. Yeah.
My man.
There you go. Nice and simple.
Great answer. Great answer. So, Miles, you were a brewer before you were a distiller, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's a great question. We've done a few different beer finishes on the whiskey, and yeah, look, I mean, if I could sum up Westward in a sentence, we are brewers making whiskey. It's a big part of why we make single malt. You know, here in Portland, Oregon, we're one of the brewing capitals of the country, right? We've got 80 plus breweries just in the metro area alone. And, you know, it's because all the really good grain, you know, for malting grows around here, all the hops. So yeah, I was a professional brewer for years before joining Westward about 11 years ago. And so are most of my distillers, pretty much all coming from beer. So yeah, I mean, that's how Stout Cask was born, right? We still have our hands in a lot that goes on in the brewing community here in Portland and around the Pacific Northwest, really. And yeah, I mean, look, brewers love to get their hands on some whiskey barrels, right? Get that barrel aged, you know, stout, porter, whatever they want to do. And so that's kind of how it began. You know, was a brewery I used to work for, a small one here called Migration. They do this Belgian chocolate imperial stout every Christmas holiday season, and they were looking to barrel age some. So I sent the barrel over, and I ended up getting it back. And so we thought, well, you know, Westward already has these great malty chocolate kind of roasty notes. Let's pop it in this barrel and see what happens. So that was, 8-9 years ago. And at this point, we've just kind of started this like barrel loaner program. We've worked with, maybe 40, 45 different breweries. We say, hey, if you're going to put stout in it, you can have it for free. Just send it back when you're done.
Wow.
And I saw earlier in the comments, somebody asked, you know, if we disclose who we work with. We absolutely do. We don't put it on the bottle because, like I said, there's numerous ones. We work with so many different breweries. And, you know, when I blend them together, I'm blending maybe 30 or 40 different of these stout barrels together for bottling.
Gotcha.
It'd just be different every time. But some of the bigger ones we work with would be like Deschutes Brewing. They do that Abyss, which is their big barrel-aged stout, which is all aged in Westward. Fort George is another big one here. But, yeah, I mean, we're all about transparency. It'd be a rotating laundry list of breweries every time that we put it in the bottle. So.
Now, have you ever done just a single cask with any of your brewers, or do you just blend different?
We do single casks as well, yeah. And actually, when we send those single casks out to either have people try, see, you know, if like a bar, restaurant, bottle shop, somebody wants to buy a single cask, we'll let them know, you know, hey, it came from this brewery. This is a Deschutes barrel. Yeah, absolutely. Same with, you know, if somebody wants to come here and sit in the barrel house and taste through a bunch of barrels, well, you know, we know where they came from because we went and picked them up ourselves. That's something, you know, that's pretty unique about this whiskey. And I think why so much of the good stout characteristics come through. We have this term, maybe you guys have heard it, called wet fill when it comes to like barrel finishing or, you know, secondary maturation in whiskey. Basically, you know, barrels come from all over the world and they get traded back and forth all over the place. And sometimes, you know, you don't know exactly where the barrels came from, or by the time they get to you, they're dried out. You know, so a wet fill means that what was in that barrel is still hydrated in the staves of that cask. And I mean, we're picking these barrels up the day that they're emptied of the beer. You know, they rack the beer out, we pick them up, we drive them back to the barrel house, and we put the whiskey in them. So it just picks so much of that stout flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And that brings out that chocolate note that we're
right up front
talking about. Because I remember the first time I tasted a stout, and my words were, "Wow, this is like drinking a chocolate malt." You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it just chocolate all the way. There's no other way to describing a stout. You know, a good stout anyway.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, even when you guys, I heard you earlier talking, you know, you're describing some of the kind of flavor notes you're getting from this cigar, and yeah, that chocolate, that dark chocolate, the almond, the nuttiness. I mean, that's such a bang on match for stout. You know,
don't forget the marzipan. Don't forget the
marzipan.
So
check this out.
But thank you, Joey, for mentioning my tasting note that I brought up today.
And so Adam's my writer that actually writes these articles for me. I just edit them.
So this has been going on for years.
Yeah, so
I've seen past episodes.
Yeah, we finally meet the man behind the scenes, you know. Yeah.
I admittedly had to look up marzipan, but
Did you see my face first?
Just your smiling face.
Marzipan.
Adam left the show to go get his thesaurus. I mean, come on.
I did actually. I went to go buy some marzipan.
Yeah. So, Miles, how are you digging the cigar? Is this your jam here? Or?
It's beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a wonderful cigar. Yeah, beautifully done. And I mean, I'm a big fan of Maduro myself. I know, Joe, you and I had kind of talked about that before. Yeah. Just when you and I linked up about this a few months ago, I went to my cigar shop here in town and bought, a bunch of different range, but I had a feeling it was going to be Maduro. But so I'll just real quick, my love for whiskey and cigars kind of happened simultaneously. I used to be, when was that? Wow. 20 years ago, I was managing a cigar bar, whiskey bar, private bar in Kansas City, Missouri. Pretty young, kind of thought I knew about both and didn't, but just dove in head first and really just got to, understand cigars and understand bourbons, small batch bourbons and single malt whiskeys. And, the development of the appreciation for both of those happened at the same time, which, eventually meant, going to brewing school and becoming a brewer and eventually making whiskey. So for me, the journey started with both. And cool. This is an awesome pairing.
So you would agree when I say that there's a lot of parallels between the cigar production and the whiskey production in both industries?
Definitely. And I loved hearing about, even talking about, wanting to get more people involved in cigars, smoking and appreciation, future generations, making it fun and inclusive and showing it that like anybody can jump in on this. Right.
Right.
And that's our philosophy at Westward too. And, you talk about even, I'll say terroir, right? Like a sense of place, like where this thing comes from. And that's huge for Westward. All of our grain is grown here in the Pacific Northwest. It's malted just down the road. We make this grain to glass. We're aging, in our barrels just a few miles away from the distillery, still in the Willamette Valley. Getting a sense of place of where this where this product's coming from is huge. So there's a definite parallel. Absolutely.
Kevin, how did you put this one together? You have 2010 on the label. How long you been actually doing this one in this particular
cigar? I bought the company in 2016 and revamped the whole entire company. Okay. Went down to Nicaragua. I go there every 3 months now. I try to at least, and work with the blender. And my palate's changed tremendously since I started doing it. And I like to get a cigar one. I try so if I'm making a broadleaf, let's say, I'll smoke every broadleaf out there because I want it to have different nuances when I make the cigar, right?
Right.
Cubra, broadleaf, Sumatra. I want to know what's out in the market before I actually come out with the cigar. And like he was saying, so what's fascinating to me is the IPA beer market, or boutique beer market, I would have to say now is 26% of the United States beer market, right? And world probably 10%.
Right.
And the cigar yet hasn't even touched that. Not even close. But that's what's going to happen because there's so much more love put into boutique cigars. It's incredible. You know what I mean? Because they're not made 100, 200, 300,000 million at a time.
Right.
Right. And I think that what Adam was saying, the $1 million question or the big question is how to get the demographic of millennials and down, right?
Yep.
To the Generation Z now that's all vaping or whatever it is, whatever they're doing. And I think it's all based on education. I agree with you.
Yeah.
They need to understand. They don't want to pick up a cigar they don't know and then they get turned off and they're not into it anymore. Right? When we were younger, it was sophisticated. You got a job and now you can smoke a cigar. It's very similar to the new youth now.
100%.
That's what they want. They want a lot of education. They want to learn.
I think a lot of what's happening with the younger crowd too is they are the most open to trying things. The older guys are pretty much stuck in their ways. They're only going to try these certain brands and these certain types of cigars, whereas the youth is coming in and they're I've seen it in cigar shops. I mean, they'll walk out with a handful of cigars, but every single one's a different one.
Different one.
You know,
Right,
they're
right.
not buying 10 of the same ones. They're buying 10 different ones, you know, and they're
Yeah.
trying everything. So
And
I think
at
that's-
the same time, since you have more educated consumers, it's holding these cigar companies more accountable as far as not pushing out something too quickly. Because these educated consumers are going to know this is not the best quality cigar. This could be better.
And
Stuff
they should
like
hold
that.
them accountable.
Yeah.
They should hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Like we don't release a cigar unless it's ready to smoke. Period.
Right.
When
Absolutely.
it comes out of that cellophane, a tremendous amount of hands have touched that cigar. You know, and I think everyone should see the process if they get a chance to go down to Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, or Honduras and see what goes on. But you know, it's like a lot of people take it for granted. But when they open up that cellophane and put that cellophane down, just like in the brewery, and you go to smoke that cigar, there's so much love put into the cigar and time and patience that you want it to come out perfect, because the end goal is the end user everywhere. That's the bottom line.
Something that you know, like I sit around all the time and try and figure out how to help unveil the curtain, right? Cigars to the younger generations for years. It's not just been, you know, right now. For years, it's been a giant question mark as to how did it get there? You know, like it's the intimidation factor has existed for so long in the cigar game. So my goal every day is to try and tear that down. And what can I do? Something that we just launched. We're actually finishing our first launch. We called it DC Blends, but I've always been fascinated by people who distill their own vodka or whatever in their garage, brew their own beer. And obviously you can't grow your own tobacco and do all of that, but we created this DC Blends experience, which we partner with a company. The first one was with Aroa Cigars and Christian Aroa. We send you 6 fumas that are just the, you know, pure, of course, we all know what fumas are, but for anybody listening, it's just the single strand of tobacco rolled up and what looks like a blunt, really.
Yeah.
And you smoke those 6 fumas. We go through it live with everybody who bought the box. And then you rate them online of what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, what mixtures you enjoyed, all these different things. Then we go back to the factory, which is happening as we speak this week. And we blend the cigar based on the consumer's opinions of all these different blends. And then we send out that cigar. We send them a 5-pack of this is your cigar, you and your people. This is your cigar. It's a way to try and help unveil the curtain even further and help, like, you know, Kevin, you go down to the, you know, every 3 months, right? You're testing fumas, you're smoking things, and people don't even understand a lick of what that looks like. This is kind of a way to let them see that and say, oh, okay, I get it. Like, I've done it. We do some different little custom blends. We work with a farm and factory down in Nicaragua. And we're trying to help people see, like, look, when you smoke this single San Andreas by itself, it is way different than a San Andreas cigar that you're smoking because of the blend. Now smoke that with this, you know, Viso from Nicaragua, and boom, you start to get kind of the whole thing. And the more we can unveil the curtain, like you guys were nailing it on the head, the education piece, the more it gets unveiled, the more people are curious, and curiosity creates buzz, and buzz is going to keep this industry alive.
Absolutely. You can formatize the taste in your head, right?
Yeah.
If you're smoking Creole 98, or if you're smoking Jalapa, you those tastes get formatized. So when you pick up any cigar,
you'll know
to pop out at you.
Yes, they become forward.
It's so cool to see people kind of go through that journey. And when we were live, you know, with Christian and talking about it, it was so many people were like, I had no idea, like, that this tasted like that. I'd never thought, you know, the Creole 98 would taste like that. There's no way, like, and it's just unveiling the curtain to let people experiment, have fun, and that's what kind of, right? It all, our motto is ignite the passion, preserve the craft, right? We do the education, we have fun, we do fun pairings, we try a bunch of different things. One of my most popular videos over the past couple months was I paired a cigar with Oreos, and people were like, oh my God, that's crazy. I never thought, but, like, you know, that's the fun thing. You ignite the passion, and then you hook them with the passion, and you get them to preserve the craft because they get involved and they start to appreciate everything that's going on and all the hands down in Nicaragua, all the factories and all the different countries. And it's yeah.
What do you think, Frank? Should we do a chicken pairing sometime?
Yeah, I think we should have
chicken marsala.
Hey, we asked Rick Rodriguez to pair KFC with some cigars.
Oh God!
Yeah, Adam, we've
Hey,
had with
look.
dark chocolate many times. Different types of dark chocolate, either from Belgium, Switzerland, wherever, and it's a whole different taste. You know, the other thing is on the blender, right? Our master blender out of Nicaragua is a 4th generation Cuban grower, so you can hand him all the leaves, and he can make you that cigar. I could give it to another blender, hand them the same amount of leaves. That cigar will not be the same cigar. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Each master blender has their own style.
I apologize, Kevin. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Adrian's comment there. I can't. Yeah, maybe that is what we should call it instead of unveiling the curtain. It's lifting the skirt. I don't know, but I'm gonna stick with unveiling the curtain for the ladies in the cigar industry, the Sisters of the Leaf that are getting involved. I'll keep it kosher, you know.
Yeah. So Miles, I want to get back to you in the whiskey a little bit. Before I do that, I'm going to get into the second and final third of this cigar. We'll get into the whiskey a little bit more before the pairing since we're getting into the second third on this Robusto. I noticed that the foot smoke odor has calmed down and has become creamier with notes of sweet vanilla swirl. The vanilla notes become creamier and continue to dominate the smoking experience with a nice char on the finish. And the aftertaste as well. It's very delicious. That retrohale remains bold with leathery vanilla and a softer spice on the finish. You guys getting that?
I get a little bit almost nutmeggy, cinnamon at this point. I'm down at the final third, and I'm getting that.
Cinnamon for sure. Cinnamon for
right?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
But I'm also picking up on the vanilla now.
Yeah. There's
really,
that creaminess for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the final
chocolate.
Yeah, in the final third.
Chocolate.
In the final third, that some leatheriness starts to dominate that smoking experience, which I love. I personally love leathery notes on a cigar, and that burn really slows down as a cigar really relaxes you. It has sweet leathery vanilla notes, and I consider this like a medium plus. Bold blend. The retrohale in the final third has really settled down to creamy vanilla with little to no spice on the finish now. And that slow burn just remains nice and even as those amazing flavors continue all the way to the nub.
Absolutely.
So, Miles, can you tell us a little bit more about this stout cask? Because I noticed there is no age statement on the bottle. Is there a general age on the whiskey here?
Generally there is. It's as we're talking about, tradition and bringing more people into the fold and, showing them kind of what your passion is. Look, the reason we don't use age statements is I am the master blender. So, this is what I'm putting together and what I feel is going to taste the best. For me, age statements don't really factor into that. And I'll tell you why. We make Westward to be a rather young whiskey because we're brewers making whiskey, and we are brewers. We use an ale yeast. We actually use the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale yeast for our fermentation, and it's a long fermentation. Most beer fermentations about a week. Ours is a week. Whiskey fermentations are really quick and really hot. So we create this wash before it even goes into the still. That's very tasty. We actually have people try it when they come through to tour the distillery and drink it. It's a really nice, basically it's a pale ale that we're distilling into whiskey. So when this, what we call white dog or new make or hooch, the unaged whiskey, once it's off the still, it's already delicious. It's just going to spend some time in that oak. We use all full size, 55-gallon new American oak charred barrels, just like bourbon. And so you're going to get obviously, color, but nice oak and vanilla and some good notes added to the whiskey. But I mean, we call that new make spirit. We call our hooch. We call it barley eau de vie at the distillery. Like we drink it on its own. It's delicious. So when it comes to age statements, for me, that doesn't really factor into it. I will say everything that goes into the bottle is about 5 to 6 years old. Okay, never under 5. but sometimes older. But for me, is the person who's kind of like, right, I've got my palate, right, my barrels, and I can paint the picture, right, and make it what I want. I don't want to have an age statement on my bottle and then taste the barrel of whiskey and be like, oh, that's delicious, but I can't use it.
Right.
It isn't a certain age. So for me, that's a limiting factor. That just, for me, that doesn't enter into like what we're doing and how we approach making whiskey.
Right.
I will say also, look, we got started in 2004. We're coming up on 20 years, which is a long time for, a craft distiller in the States. But, for a whiskey distillery, that's still relatively young. And so I can also say age statements can sometimes be really limiting for someone getting into the game that's new, right? You're a 200-year-old whiskey distillery. Yeah, you've got some 25-year-old whiskey around. Of course you do. But when you're first starting out, of course you don't. So when you begin your distillery, you have the option of either sourcing whiskey, which a lot of brands do. You buy your finished whiskey from someone else and you put it in your bottle with your label on it. Or you make it from scratch and you wait. And that's what we did. We've always made Westward from scratch. We waited, we started making it early days. The first version of Westward that came out was 2011.
That's 7 years later.
7 years after we started as a company.
You're basically running on. There's no profit there. You're just working off of your time. You're waiting.
Well, what we did, either right. I mean, you either wait and there's no ROI, or what we did was we created a gin brand that thankfully got really big, called Aviation American Gin. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yes. Yes.
That was our creation.
We drink it.
We drink it. Yeah.
You guys, is that the Ryan Reynolds gin?
Well, now it is. Yeah. we sold it. Yeah.
Right. So you sold it to Ryan Reynolds.
Eventually, it got to Ryan Reynolds. Yeah.
Okay. So you sold it, and that guy might have sold it, and then that guy.
The company that we sold it to brought him in and got him involved as an investor, and then he just took it everywhere. But so that's that's something else you can do. Is you put out some clear spirits that don't need age, and they can keep the lights on. And that's I often say Westward is it's the whiskey that gin built. Aviation just became huge and took off for us. And it, paid the bills and allowed us to make Westward exactly how we wanted to make it. Wow. No compromises. But so, to me, age statements, I get why they're there. I can also say climate, right? Like, tell me if I'm getting too preachy here, guys.
No.
Go for it.
Climate has so much to do with how you age your spirit, right? And I'm sure it does with how you age tobacco as well, right? Where that's going to take place. What the weather's like, is it an enclosed space? Is it an open air space? Same with whiskey, right? I mean, you're talking about, let's say, Scotland, right? That's a very cold, very wet place.
Yes.
That whiskey's going to take a lot longer to age than somewhere, say, Kentucky, right? Really hot, big temperature fluctuations. That's a very different environment. Where we are in Oregon, we're in a valley. We're between two mountain ranges. And we've got a lot of rain, but it stays warm. And so we've got the Pacific Ocean and the high desert just kind of influencing our weather. And we've got 4 distinct seasons, but it's pretty mellow. And so for us, it doesn't take that long for the whiskey to be ready. So, there's a lot of factors in how you put it all together. But for us, I'm not interested in age statements. So, and that's not to say we'll never release one that may have one. But it's not something that we put on the label.
Do you have anything?
No,
cellared that is from your original 2004.
Ooh, not from 2004. I'll tell you what. I mean, those were early lean days, right? So if a barrel was ready, we bottled it and we sold it.
You make it move, yeah.
I mean, I've got stuff that's 10 years old right now that I just transferred to some cognac casks. I got some 40-year-old cognac casks. I mean, we're going to release some fun stuff next year for our 20th anniversary for sure.
Awesome.
But I mean, for us, the most enjoyment I get out of whiskey is drinking it. So, I want to get it blended and I want to put it in the bottle. That's it's ready to go.
And Miles, do you see like a big emergence of American single malt whiskey going on right now?
That's Joe. That's a great question, man. So I mean, when we got started, there were maybe 1 or 2 other distilleries in the entire U.S. making single malt, right? I mean, we're bourbon. That's what we do here in the States. That's what we make. And we definitely got a lot of puzzled looks, bringing some American single malt. But these days, there's well over 200 single malt makers. I think we're getting close to 230 single malt makers in the country.
Wow.
And actually, I don't know if you've noticed, but I have. Jack Daniels and Jim Beam have both released an American single malt.
Yep.
You know, these are major brands that are using our term, which is really exciting.
That's
It
cool.
brings a lot more people into the fold and shows them what we're up to. Because for a long time it was just like, oh, you make bourbon? Well, no, we use barley, not corn. Oh, so you make single malt? Yeah, so Scotch. Like, well, no, because we're not in Scotland and we don't use any peated malt, and it's American single malt. It's our version. It's beer inspired.
Yeah, kind of interesting to see, Scotland take away the peat to compete with the sweetness of our American bourbon as the American bourbon industry started to outperform Scotland, and now here comes American single malt.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
it's
good over
kinda,
here, I gotta say.
yeah, we're kind of going back and forth at this point.
Which I love that. I mean, it keep everybody on their toes. I mean, we're definitely pushing some boundaries. We're not getting too wacky, but I want to challenge some expectations of like what whiskey should be versus what whiskey could be, right? Talking about like we respect traditions of whiskey. That's why we do what we do, but we want to see what else is out there. I think the future is more exciting, and I often say, we're passionate but not pretentious.
Right.
I have a question for you, Miles.
Yeah.
Question for you, Miles. So you had said, when it's coming off your still, you guys enjoy your White Lightning or Chooch or whatever you call it. Would you ever bottle that and sell it to the consumer to see what is coming off as before it's an aged out whiskey?
Yeah. Early days we would bottle it and sell it, and it wasn't flying off the shelf. A lot of bartenders loved it. They like to use it in cocktails. Right. We do bottle it now, but only so I can bring it for tastings, because I think it's a really cool thing to show people like this is Westward before it even goes into wood.
Right.
Like, check it out before it's aged. There are a few of us that are kind of pushing to bottle the White Dog again, because I think it's fantastic.
I love getting my hands on like the White Lightnings or the White Dogs, whatever's out there, because I have a very central, and I have the Discovery Channel to thank for that, because they made a killing off of moonshiners, and that's true American history right there.
Sure.
And so anytime a distiller has unaged whiskey out there, I try to get my hands on it just to see the product before it actually goes into the barrel.
Exactly, man. See it in its raw form, right? See where the real talent is.
Miles, I would be super curious to see, again, from an unveiling the curtain, from a very educational kind of standpoint, taking that White Dog and then taking what we've had today and doing a pairing with the same cigar and saying how it's kind of it's allowing you to see the transition that maybe it was in between through the cigar in how it interacts. That would be really interesting in saying how did these two things exchange with each other.
I love that idea, and if y'all are game, I'll send some bottles of White Dog out, and we can do that. That'd be awesome.
Heck yeah.
That'd be cool.
Absolutely.
So Miles, we have a question from
time.
Chris Eden. Chris Eden wants to know, are you planning on releasing any high octane whiskey?
We do. That's actually we've got we've got 4 like main expressions you can find. We call them our core expressions. It's the original or the classic, that's the trunk of the tree, and these things branch off of. Then you've got the stout cask, which we're drinking now. We do a Pinot cask as well, because we're in the Valley, and that's a pretty well-known American region for Pinot Noir wines. And so kind of a similar concept where I'm driving the truck down to winemakers 45 minutes away. I'm picking up their wine barrels as soon as they empty them, popping the whiskey, and then we're ready to go. But the 4th expression is what we call our cask strength. Yeah. Okay. So it's released right out of the barrel, no dilution, 125 proof.
Yeah. Nice.
That actually, I started sending that to competitions in without telling anybody here, and it started doing really well. So we made it an expression, and Whiskey Advocate, who is the sister publication to Cigar Aficionado and Wine Spectator, is they named it their number 5 favorite whiskey in the world last year.
Wow, that
The
is
cask
awesome.
strength.
Very awesome.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you. Well, but so yeah, there's a high octane one out there for sure. That's straight out of the barrel into the bottle. Really delicious stuff.
Before you jumped on the show, I was talking about how I came across you guys at Whiskey Fest in Chicago, and that cask strength bottle. My first time going to Whiskey Fest was probably my favorite whiskey of the entire event.
Wait, you remembered that, Joey?
Yeah, actually, I do. There's an article about it. I had to write an article to remind myself. But Miles, there's something like kind of like green or herbaceous about that cask strength bottle that I kind of describe it as being like a very dank type note. Where's that coming from on that cask strength?
Man. And so cask strength is just Westward, unadulterated, totally just right out of the cask. So it's really just a cask strength version of that classic, the original that you held up. So you're just getting more concentrated stuff from that, which, to me, there's always this undercurrent of like earthy kind of leather tobacco in, Westward, but at that cask strength, it's just super concentrated.
Right.
And that's, part of that to I guess get a little geeky about your question, Joe, is how we distill, because we make such a clean wash, and we're using pot stills, right? Pot distillation is the most like basic way you can distill. It also is the most flavorful.
Right.
And so when we're running our stills, you've got your beginning and middle and end of the run, right? You've got your heads and your hearts and your tails. Now, as a distiller, you want mostly hearts, right? That's where the good alcohol and the good flavor is. When you get into your tails, that's when the temperature rises over the whole run. So you get into a pretty high temp. Things are starting to come out of the solution that weren't coming out before. That's tails. Now, when we say tails, we talk about phenolics. So that's like tobacco, earthy, leather, spice, even smoke. And depending on how you made your wash going into the still, you can run pretty far into your tails. That's like your own kind of stylistic choice as a distiller. You can say, we're getting into the tails. I don't like it too much. I'm going to stop distilling. For us, we run pretty far into the tails because it adds that earthy tobacco, leather kind of spicy note to it. And it just makes the whiskey taste that way.
It'll be interesting to put tobacco inside that barrel when you're done with it.
Can I tell you guys something? This was when I was like a real young distiller. I just like cold called, I won't name them, a tobacco company, and was like, hey, I know people age, tobacco in barrels. Would you send me some of the barrels, and I'll, put my whiskey in? And I never got a call back.
Interesting. That would be very interesting, though.
That would be
I
interesting.
think that would be good.
Kevin, what do you got going on? What's new at Rock-A-Feller? Any other new cigars you're planning? What's happening? Anything special at maybe PCA or anything ready to be released?
Yeah, so we plan on we have this Habano Lonsdale that we came out with, but we never came out with in boxes. So we plan on doing 10-count boxes of it, and we're gonna release it at the Great Smoke in February.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay.
And we're working on another Art of Magic, right? So it'll be the Art of Magic 4 coming out.
Nice.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
With a different factory that I've never used yet, but we're good friends.
Oh, good.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
And when do you think that's going to be happening?
Probably in 60 days.
Oh, great.
Oh, wow.
90 days.
Just in time for the holidays. Very nice.
Yeah, what's
Miles,
interesting
if you ever
about,
go ahead.
well, what's interesting about that is, as we know, Jesse Flores seems to have vanished, right? Nobody knows where he is.
Right.
So my wife
Yeah.
is actually doing the artwork for that box. She's an artist.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So she's actually spending a lot of time on it. It's actually almost complete. So the artwork's done, and we all know the packaging is the hardest part of coming out with a cigar.
Right.
So that's
Right,
almost
right.
complete. Then we'll be working on the bands, the boxes, and it should be ready to go in 60 days. It's going to be
Awesome.
a great cigar.
Nice.
Oh,
Mi-
awesome.
Miles, in regards to whiskey and tobacco, there's an Australian Morris single malt expression that's aged in a smoked muscat barrel, and it just tastes like pipe tobacco. If you ever get a chance to try that, and then getting into the pairing, how this tobacco pairs with this whiskey. So what I do is I'll do the cigar to the drink, and then I'll mix it up, and I'll do the drink to the cigar. So when it comes to the cigar to the whiskey, I get vanilla char. Cigar turns this American malt into an orangey, candy-like creamsicle. This is a perfect marriage of flavor as everything is toned down to tingly and creamy orange marmalade. All of this is mellowed out and creamier in the final third. The leathery vanilla sweetness of the cigar marries very well with the earthy sweetness of the whiskey. And I think it's just perfect. And then you switch it up and you go with whiskey to the cigar. I get sweet, fruity mandarin orange notes that are covered with fudge. It's like popping a nice piece of tingly orange candy in your mouth, and it melts to dark chocolate. The pairing becomes bolder, more candy-like, with bolder notes of charred dark chocolate on the finish, and it is absolutely delicious. So what are you guys getting on the pairing? You guys kind of along those lines there?
Real quick, I have this is something that I like to do with my pairings that is it's really just a creative thing, right? There's probably nothing that is actually maybe scientific or whatever is going on, but if you take your whiskey and you smoke the cigar, right, and then you smoke the whiskey with the cigar, and you roll it around just like you would smoke a whiskey or a smoked old fashioned or whatever it is at a lounge, I find that it creates some sort of crazy flavor because it kind of brings the pairing together. Yeah, that is super entertaining, and it's one of the greatest party tricks too that I've seen too. So this is
you're not the only one, Adam. We've been doing that for years.
We're older.
We're older.
Yeah.
You let that sit, and that again at parties, everybody's like, "Why would you do that?" And it's entertaining. So I'm intrigued to see what this happens, and I think a lot of what you said, Joey, is going to come out in this.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Citrus part, 100%, Joe. You get that citrusy orange and that chocolate. It's like a chocolate covered orange candy, exactly like you said, Joe.
Chocolate with Grand Marnier.
Yeah, yeah.
Not bad.
No,
Not bad.
Good. Very good.
All right, Joey, wrap that, and we're going to end. Go to our next segment.
So overall, and for those who don't know, Kevin's line of cigars pays homage to Magic because he is the Magic Man.
Yep.
Overall, this is an incredible marriage of Magic and the best our Northwest has to offer. We are definitely like a kid in a candy store with this pairing. We get to experience the true magic of being American with this pairing, and we should all be thankful.
Salud.
Joey, salud.
Nice, Joey.
Very well said.
I wrote that so well, didn't I, for you?
You did.
Yeah, there's a couple edits in there, but yep.
You slipped him that note. I saw it go over by Joey's lap.
He edited out my marzipan note that I was.
I know, he did. He threw that out.
Your homage to marzipan.
Well, let's hold it there. We're going to go to our final segment, okay? And Frank, why don't you describe for Adam? And I know Kevin knows, and
yeah, Kevin knows, but Adam might not know if he hasn't seen the show once or twice, and I'm sure Miles hasn't. So this segment is what we like to call Stump the Chooch. Now, Chooch in Italian is a very important term, and this is our mascot. It's a jackass, and I love history, and I love kind of toying with the guys and asking them questions about history. So when we come back, we're going to have some great questions for the guys, and then we're going to have a very special question for our audience. And a lucky winner today will get, let me look at Joey. What's he holding up there?
This is the original single malt from Westward.
Ooh, nice.
So that's one of the prizes there tonight, folks.
Nice. Very nice. And I'm going to put Kevin on the spot. Do you think we might send them a couple of these Maduro so they can experiment?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. So when we come back, folks, right after these words from our wonderful sponsors.
Cigar in the Bottle is 2 palate-pleasing gifts in one. A specially blended Grand Pommier XS VSOP cognac is elegantly contained in patented numbered bottles. Winner of back-to-back-to-back-to-back medals at the LA Spirits Awards, Cigar in the Bottle inventor Forbidden Johnny teams up with Vartan and Hendrik Kellner for this custom-blended Vartan Reserva cigar, well-preserved in a hand-blown glass chamber featuring Bovita two-way humidification.
At Norwood Royal Cigars, we have the biggest walk-in humidor in the Midwest. Our 1,500 square foot humidor is home to almost 4,000 different cigars that will meet the need of any cigar enthusiast. We have boutique blends to the more traditional selections and everything in between. From the novice beginner to the aficionado, the knowledgeable staff at NRC will find the perfect cigar for you. Located on the northwest side of Chicago, we want to be your shop for all your cigar wants and needs. As always, at Norwood Royal Cigars, light it, smoke it, love it.
Experience the magic of Rock-A-Feller Cigars today. With 11 years steeped in tradition, passion, and mystery of the leaf, Rock-A-Feller has a cigar just for you. Be like the greatest magicians and make Rock-A-Feller Cigars appear in your lineup with any of our 4 lines. The Nicaraguan, the Dominican Blue, the Vintage Gold, and our new LE, The Art of Magic.
Over the Rhine Premium Cigars is located in the heart of Cincinnati, 50 yards south of historic Findlay Market. We offer both known brands and the finest boutique cigars available. Feel free to bring your favorite beverage and relax in Dude Daycare, where dudes of all genders are welcome. We look forward to serving you at Over the Rhine Premium Cigars. And we are a proud member of the Boutique Cigar Association.
All begins at the very first climate-controlled Rodriguez Olivan cigar factory located in the Dominican Republic. Our 2 major brands include Don Olivan, which are boutique cigars suited for that individual who takes great pride in something unique. BAMF is our armed forces cigars designed for that badass mother effer. Not only are you smoking a great premium cigar, a percentage of the proceeds is donated to our heroic men and women in uniform.
And we're back, folks.
Back.
We are back, folks.
Hey, I just wanted to throw this out that tonight is my last show in my temporary residence. Next week, I move to my house.
All right.
Congratulations, my man.
Well, he will be an official resident of Florida.
Kyle's been living in a trailer for the last 2 weeks.
Trailer? It's more like a outhouse.
Congratulations, buddy. We'll see you next week.
For you clowns out there. Now, everyone, please feel free to answer. No question is too absurd to be
Except
answered.
with Joey's answers.
When Joey answers things, we don't even take them seriously anymore. So, guys, I'm going to throw this out to you. On this date in history, October 10th, 1913, Adam, this is for you since you go way back. This dike was demolished.
Whoa.
The family show. What are you doing? Hey.
All of you people, do you understand there are 2 different types of dikes in the world? I'm talking about the dike that gets demolished to join 2 large bodies of water. What was the first unveiling of this Pacific and Atlantic joining of the 2 oceans?
Oh. That happened on Christopher Street?
The Panama Canal. What the hell?
Panama Canal.
Here's what you need to know about me. Today is the greatest history lesson that I've had in a long time.
Oh boy.
And no, Bob's first girlfriend.
Panama Canal. That is the only guess.
Bob, I know you can't read the answer, but the answer given by Paul was Bob's first girlfriend.
That was Christopher Eden, you Chooch.
Yeah, that was Chris. That was Chris, not Paul.
The comments are saying Panama Canal. Was that right? That was
Yeah, you were close. Okay, on this day in history, in 2011, the largest virus discovered in ocean water near Chile.
Ocean water.
Yes. What was it called?
I'm gonna guess the flu.
That was called marzipan.
That's called a true cancer, Adam. So you get
It's called Pecorini virus.
We float everywhere, Joe.
Well,
we know this. We know this.
It was
We know
called
this.
the megavirus chileniasis.
You can't even say the word.
Just call it megavirus for short.
Optimus
Never
Megastonus.
Look,
all
Bruce,
I know is-
Bruce got it right. I'm not going to pronounce this. You guys can figure it out.
She's Googling right now.
The megavirus chilenius.
I like Adam Trevor's worse, the Ellen DeGeneres virus. I don't know. I thought that was the best one for that one.
Wow. All right. One more for you guys, and then we go. Whew. Boy, oh boy. So on this date in history in 1978, President Carter signed a bill authorizing the likeness of who?
Mr. Peanut.
On one side of the new
What is this?
coin.
Is this like Schoolhouse Rock right now? What are we doing here?
Unbelievable.
Kevin,
I'm
you should
just a
have
bill.
I'm just a
I should have
bill
this.
sitting on Capitol Hill.
On the
You got to
likeness
read that
on the
again,
new-
Frank.
Listen, President Carter signed a bill authorizing the likeness of who on one side of the new dollar coin.
Susan B. Anthony.
There you go.
Susan B.
Look at
Yeah.
Kyle. Bob doesn't even know
The
there was
dollar
a
coins.
dollar coin.
You know how many of those dollar coins I have in my
Yeah,
collection?
and they're worthless.
Holy
They're worth less
They're
than
worth
a
a
dollar.
dollar.
They're
They're
worth
worth
no,
a dollar.
They're less
One
than a
dollar.
dollar.
Now they
One
are. They're
dollar.
about 35
I'm
cents.
just gonna point this out. This is a Robusto, and look
could-
how
you
slow
could-
burning
oh, yeah.
it is. We're almost 2 hours in, and this Robusto is still going, guys.
Yep.
Great cigar, Kevin.
Great cigar.
Unbelievable
Thank you, guys.
cigar. What a wonderful
Yep.
evening with that
Fantastic.
cigar. Unbelievable.
Fantastic smoke.
So
This
now
is for the
The,
audience.
the whiskey did not last, though. Sorry, Miles.
That's what I like to hear.
all righty. This is for the audience. Listen very carefully out there, audience members.
This is for the
Modern-
bottle
This
and
is for the bottle and some cigars
Oh,
from Kevin.
yep.
So-
Rock-A-Feller Cigars.
Modern oyster stouts. I know that I got Miles here on this one. May be made with a handful of oysters in the barrel. Hence the warning by one establishment in Dublin. What was the name of that establishment that put out a warning that this was not suitable for vegetarians?
Wow.
That was the warning.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Yeah.
Because it's got raw oysters.
Yeah.
Bueller.
Christopher says IPA.
Anyone?
Well, that's a true answer, Chris. By the way,
Guinness.
Bobby-
Bobby
it was not
Guinness.
Guinness. Nope. Bobby
No.
Bollinger, good guess, but not Guinness. Sorry.
The patty warning.
CBS.
Waterhouse Temple.
Trinity
FDA?
Center.
FDA.
I'm gonna go.
Temple.
I'm gonna give Chris. It was actually the Porterhouse Brewery in Dublin, so I'm gonna give it to Chris because that's true. The Temple, it's also called that. So, Chris,
Chris again. Look
Chris,
at that.
nice,
He comes in
Chris.
late and he goes out a winner.
Chris is
There you
kicking
go, Chris.
Bruce's ass a little bit
Wow.
now. Just saying, Bruce, you got somebody who's actually just as good as Google.
Probably more knowledgeable and quicker on the finger. Yes, definitely.
on the finger. Like giving the finger.
Congratulations, there, Chris. We'll get that address out to Kevin, and I'll give the address out to Joe. And when they get to the post office, you'll receive your package. That's all. Lucky it's not me. I just went today. I don't want to go there again.
Congratulations. Awesome,
You
awesome
actually should
bottle.
send it to Frank's house because Chris is going to be down here next week.
No, it's not Chris. It's not Mike.
No, it's not that.
Different Chris.
Cutler.
Oh, okay.
Chris was a Chooch this week.
Oh, Chris was a Chooch.
Eden was a Chooch. He gave a Chooch answer.
Oh, boy.
I don't know how
okay.
he came up with
And
that.
something to pay attention to, guys, is Bill and Chad, the publishers of the magazine. They also have their Rick House site where they do picks on different whiskeys.
Yeah, barrel
and
picks and stuff,
it's called WBSERickhouse.com. And coming up soon is going to be a Westward pick of their cask strength. I've had
Nice.
it, and it is unbelievable. So if you go to WBSERickhouse.com, pay attention to that and look for that bottle, definitely.
Yeah,
Nice.
I just looked up Westward whiskey, and they are in Grand Cathedral Cigars. So guess where I'm going.
Oh, that's where you'll be headed.
Very nice. Congratulations, guys. We want to thank you very much for your time and the fantastic. You did good, Joey.
This is a great pairing. This is a really good pairing.
This is some good
It's a
stuff.
it's a magic pairing, right, Kevin?
It's
Right?
magic.
Absolutely, brother.
Yep.
Thank you.
Magic in a bottle.
Rock-A-Feller
stick.
Cigars. Kevin, thank you so much again for spending time with us. We love your product. The cigars are fantastic. Miles, hey, you did good on this one too, man. You really did. Fantastic.
And the pairing article in Whiskey Network will be coming out probably November 3rd, so pay attention to that. It's free to subscribe, whiskeynetwork.net.
And thank you to Adam, my man, for your incredible knowledge for such a young person.
And thank you for writing all those articles
for Joe.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. At least somebody's keeping Joey in line.
I know every other word is fuck out of Joey, so at least Adam cleans it up.
Watch your fucking mouth.
There you go, Adam. Can you clean him up a little bit? He's
I'll
really,
do what I
it's a
can. I'll
family
do what I
show.
can.
But with all honesty, guys, it's been fantastic.
Miles,
we
thank
can't
you
thank
so much for
enough.
jumping on with us.
Hey,
Thank
Frank,
you, guys.
why don't you say what's going on our special show in 2 nights, folks? In 2 nights, we are doing another amazing special Thursday night show. Frank, tell them.
Well, I mean, he needs no introduction. Chaz Palminteri of Bronx Tale. Everyone who hasn't seen it has made the biggest mistake of their life. You have to watch it. But he's coming out with a brand new cigar called the Bronx Tale, fittingly, and it's put out there in honor of his grandfather. And it's going to be epic because Epic Cigars put it out. And then we're going to have Paulie DeSilvio will be on as well. And listen to this one,
The usual
folks.
suspects.
You will be able to, we're auctioning off for charity, for Chaz's charity, a bottle, so not only a bottle, the cigar in the bottle. Our man Johnny Soyak with Cigar in the Bottle, signed autographed cigar, literally the cigar in the bottle. And it's autographed by Chaz, and it will be auctioned off Thursday night for a great cause. So please watch, tune in, and you may want to. That's a one-off, folks. I don't know, how many you'll be able to find of those. So, and I'm also going to be throwing in a autographed poster of Chaz with the Bronx Tale as part of it. So.
Nice.
So we're going to have the Cigar in a Bottle Cognac with Chaz's signed autographed cigar. And you don't really ever see a signed cigar, folks. And that's going to be in the bottle for an amazing collector's item. and you're also going to get a signed poster by Chaz.
I was going to say the cigar smokes better when you get signed.
I think I just said
You
that.
just said that.
I think Ronnie's just reiterating what I just said.
No, I did.
Always
I
does.
want to make sure that people understand what a fabulous prize it's going to be.
It in another language.
Say it a little louder so that they hear
I
you.
said it in Italian as opposed to English.
Yeah, say it in Italian. Good.
Guys, definitely get on these. Guys, get on these Rock-A-Feller cigars. It's RockefellerCigars.com, right, Kevin?
Yeah, it's a brand new website actually we put up.
Oh, good. I was trying to find you, Kevin. It's brand new. There we go.
Yeah, it's now on BRCG. It's RockefellerCigars.com.
Yep,
Perfect.
and get on Westward Whiskey. As far as I'm concerned, Westward Distillery is leading the charge when it comes to American single malt.
Definitely getting a bottle of that.
Hell yeah. Oh, I am too.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you,
guys. Thanks again for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
night.
I hope you had some fun. And we hope to see you guys again in 2024 when Joey puts together another fabulous pairing, as he has been doing great
Well, we
lately.
still have November and December.
Well, yeah, but to get these three guys on, we got 2024. You know, you already
Let's bring them back. Let's bring them back.
Bring them back. Why not?
It'll be, you know, we're bringing back the band, especially Woods. He's got to go and check it out.
Yeah, Ron Woods is going to be on, folks. You guys, there's Miles.
I'm looking him up.
Joshua Hatton from Impact's Beverages is going to be on again next month. He was already on a couple months ago. He's excited to come back.
Nice.
Oh, he's great.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, he's awesome.
I saw that last episode that he was on. He's great. He also has Single Cask Nation. They actually just bottled a Westward Single Cask pick last week. He's great. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a great
guys.
night.
Well, you once have a fantastic night, everybody.
Good night.
Come back on Thursday.
You guys
We'll
stay
see
on
you
for
soon.
the after show if you want.
Yeah, hang out. All right.
Tell my brothers to line them up. We'll drink that whiskey from those old dirty cups. We'll toast to the present, the future, and the past. This ain't my first drink, but I sure it ain't my last. 'Cause this world is so beautiful. I see its love come shining through. This world is so beautiful. I feel its love come shining through. This world is so beautiful.